This is assignment 2. So this will be the next day. You're going to start this one. I don't expect you to do everything all the same in the same day, because you won't put your heart into it. And I really want you to enjoy this and put your heart into it. Okay, so what does it say to do? On this paper here, we're going to use graphite pencils again. So here's our pencils. I'm going to put my little stuff up there too. Create a pleasing composition and draw balls using all of the texture styles from assignment 1. Okay, so you now know how to do assignment 1. You've done them all and they're completed. So what we're looking for is for sure 8 balls, because you're going to have bristly texture, hard texture, rough texture, smooth texture, soft texture, silky texture, furry texture, wet texture. Okay, now let's talk about that. These pictures are just beautiful, I think. This is really nice. When you're all finished, this is mostly ink. You're going to use the pencils like we did on the assignment 1. But you might want to think about doing a color in the background. That's up to you. But it will have to have a gray if you don't have a color. Okay, so let's talk about the balls. Okay, let's just look at the balls for a second. These balls have the texture so that it's indented where they're cut into, or if they're lumpy, they're not quite round. These little metal circles, they stick off. Over here, it goes out, because it's rope. These were stone, so they're perfectly smooth on the edges. But remember, we're going to be doing 8 different textures, so it's more like this. And what I'm trying to tell you is, don't quite look at this one. They make their edges too round and perfect, like they're all stone, and they're not. So this is the only ball here that kind of goes furry on the edges. So, but I hope you can see what I'm talking about when you do your balls. Let me get my jar. You can get all of your, just find round stuff in your house. Okay, and it'll be a lot nicer if you have different sizes. And some behind each other, in front of each other. Or you can just do them, we'll talk about composition in a minute. Okay, so there you have it. Let's go back to our texture. If we're doing, let's say, bristly, we've already talked about that, then you're going to, you might as well just use what you already know. Make it round, and then round again. You've already done this, just go with what you've already learned here. And then you're going to put the black in like we did. Black in like we did. And then it starts to be charcoal. It's harder to show that with this. I want to use hatching lines to get me a gray. And I'm going to get them farther apart to get a lighter color just for now. But you know that you're going to be using pencils and you know how to do it. And then at some point, you know, you're going to erase and have these textural pieces come out. And remember, we had the side pieces. We're going to erase that. And so just use that as the way to do this. If you're going to do, let's say, the shell or the hard surface, why not just do it similar to the lumpy, little lumpy right there. You can come here and even just try to make it like this shell even would be fine. We're going to start with the spiral. Okay, and then we can make the spiral lumpy and bumpy. And it comes off the side. Isn't this fun? I think it is. It's very relaxing, and you can even make some longer ones. So that's still a ball, and I'm going to translate, obviously, with cross-hatch lines to give it some shadow and shade, but you're going to use your pencils like we already talked about. Now, that's what we're going to do for this assignment. So let's look at the compositions. Let's talk about composition for a second. We're talking, this is all texture, but in design, it's the fundamentals of design, composition is huge. This one, it fills up the entire space. You have large, medium-sized, small, and extra small. There's another one back there. Oh, and this is even smaller. Okay, in this one, you have the balls, and then you have ovals. So that's a mixture of shapes. So you might, and the squares. If you want to do that kind of idea, you can texture your bases. This is wood. You can make it wood grain if you would like, or you can do something else that's textural for you. But again, I don't want the edges to be smooth. And remember, you're going to definitely have to have 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You'll need one more. This one has a whole lot. So you may want to just go, like you would zoom in and have, let's see, let's just block it off. So then now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But you see what I'm saying? You can cut the composition or expand the composition if you want to. This one has a nice little background to it with a pattern. We'll talk about patterns another day. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you could go 6, 7, 8, and then add some sort of a, well, you could even do your silky back here if you want to do the silky cloth here, and then do 7 balls like that. Okay, same thing here. We would have to crop. So, let's see. So there's 8 balls, and the composition is really planned to be repetitive. And the only difference you're going to have is the color, which we'll talk about emphasis and dominance another day. But you can, if you like that kind of a very balanced composition, that's fine with me. So you get to choose. This is how you become creative. So in this rectangle, I want you to be creative. Now this is a bigger space than we were using to draw here. So this is, you're going to learn how to create a whole space, and it really has to be finished out all the way to the edges. So you're going to have, what I would do is I would start off, since we're going to do composition, let's say this is my rectangle. So that is this. You can either make some samples, you know, like there's one, and you could do 4, 5, or 6, whatever you want to do. You could say, okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or what if I say, I don't like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I say to myself, none of those go off the space. They're just hovering in there. This touches this one, but none of them touch each other. This one's overlapping and it goes out of the space. So you're talking to yourself. What do I like? Which one do I like better? And then if you don't like either one of them, what do? Just get another sample and then do what you want to do. Okay, I think I might want to just do them all this big. And in the corner, that's it. And and just leave the inside open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 1 in the middle. Do I like that? So just play with it to figure out what you want before you go in here and do it, because once you draw on your paper, it mars up your paper, and you want to definitely make this beautiful. Okay, that's lesson 2.